Hi everyone, welcome to Grow. It's me, Patricia Handbidge, and my partner, Little Green Sprout, back here for a Grow Live session. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch us and see what we're doing. Today we are going to plant a Sempervivum wall or a succulent wall. So what you need is some hens and chicks. They are part of the Sempervivum family. You need some kind of structure to plant them in. Now this is a commercial wall that we've got that we're going to fill with media and then plant the hens and chicks in it for a beautiful piece of living art. So I'm going to get you to go ahead and fill that with media. So because we're dealing with succulents, you want to, you bet, just dump her right on there. Keep her coming. When you're dealing with succulents, they are a unique plant in that they have the ability to store a little bit of water in their leaf tissue. So they're beautiful for hot, dry areas. They're very hardy in Saskatchewan, and so from the people that are living, just keep filling, sweetheart, keep filling. The people that are living in the warmer climes like Ontario, where you've got Zone 5 or Zone 5A, you've got many more choices for specific types of succulents. But with the Saskatchewan or 2A, 2B, even sometimes a little bit cooler climates, cooler in the winter climates, just keep dumping them right on there because they'll fill it up. We want to use a media that is not out of your garden. You want to use a soilless mix. This is basically just a pro mix that keep her coming, just dump, and then we're going to use a handy dandy straight edge because I don't know if you've noticed, but we're inside today because again there's gale force winds blowing, and I think we might get some rain. So we moved it inside, and we're going to be dealing, just dump, keep going, dump, more media. This is actually quite a large size wall, and basically you could even build these for yourself if you like, just some wood and some chicken wire, anything that'll hold the media that the root tissue can actually grow through right here, and then we can fill the bottom. So any kind of succulent works. I like to use hardy succulents just because then you've planted this beautiful piece of art and you can enjoy it for more than one season. So when we're done planting, keep her coming. We got to fill her right up. When you're filling it with media, it's very important, just dump it right here and we can use the straight edge, you bet. So straight edge, we're inside, handy dandy ruler. You don't want to pack the media. You basically just want to fill it level, and then you can give it a couple of shakes to let it settle. A few more just in here. I know we're inside, so we're trying not to make a mess. And when you garden, what happens?
You make a mess.
You make a mess, and you know what? That's all right. So I like to see things at different levels in the landscape. I'll let you do some spreading with the straight edge, all right? I like to see different levels in the landscape. So this wall is going to actually go up a little bit, so it's going to add some added beauty. So we're going to have to fill these up too, huh? So add some added beauty at a different level. So like I said, we're using hens and chicks, and these are just out of an existing bed. So if I'm going to show you the back of them, this is one that's been cleaned up. This is one that hasn't been cleaned up. So you see there's a lot of old leaves and things like that. Basically, this is another example of cleaning off the crown of a plant. Now, we talked about crowns when we were planting strawberries, when we were planting asparagus, and also when we were regrowing or repurposing some of the vegetables out of our fridge, like celery. Just fill them up here. You need a little more soil. And that's it. Dump it right here, and then we can spread it without making as big a mess. So once it's cleaned up, it doesn't matter if there's root tissue there Not a problem if there's root tissue, but you've taken off all the old leaves. So once you've got the media, and this is basically just soilless media that that we have cut with a little extra perlite, just so it drains a little bit better. And you need just a little more soil in the corner there. Soil-less media, a little more media in the corner. Just dump it a little bit inside and then we can spread it. Dump right here, and then we've got the thing just about full. That's it, right down into the corners. So a little bit more here, because we want it nice and level, because we're not going to pack it. Just dump right here. There we go. And then we spread it. All right, so this is what we're going to be planting into. Isn't that beautiful? So this wall is probably what, about 2 by 2 square, 2 by 2 feet square or so. And we've got a variety of different types of succulents, sedum, hens and chicks, and we're going to do a beautiful wall. So with the larger rosettes, we're going to actually do a bit of a pattern throughout the center, and then we're going to fill it in with all these little babies. So why are hens and chicks called hens and chicks? It's because the mama hen puts out little chicks. So you see the mother hen is here, and out on a runner she puts a little chick. So that's why they're called hens and chicks. So Sprout, go ahead and start making your pattern down the middle with the larger ones, and I'll talk to the folks a little bit more about making a living wall and what you need to do to care for it. So you're just going to make a nice S. Maybe that one would be great right in the middle, because it's beautiful, and it's little babies that are still. You just have to put it in. When you're planting in a wall, succulents are unique because they have some moisture stored in them. You don't want your media to be very wet. You want them the media just to be moist, just so it forms a ball, but not so any water comes out. In order to get succulents to re-root, they don't need to have a very, very moist media like a lot of your plants that you might be bedding out right now. Well, if you have a lot of root tissue on there, let's trim some of that off. Just because those roots have died, because these actually were harvested a few days ago. There you go. And now they are basically almost ready to, well, they're really wanting to grow. There we go. So when you're planting them, you don't push the media down. You basically, if you need to make a hole, and you don't really for these, you can just set them in, and you just kind of want to move the media back and forth instead of pack it down, because succulents you need some more big ones. Here's some more big ones. Succulents are quite unique in that they tend to look for water, and that's the reason they grow roots. So you can get succulents to root faster if you have a little bit of bottom heat. So once we've got this planted, and we won't plant it while we're on air, but we certainly will post a picture of how beautiful it is after. And they will grow those roots out searching for water. South Africa is basically the home of succulents, and it's really interesting because sometimes they don't get any precipitation or any moisture for years, and then you'll see the succulents will be making their way towards the hard surfaced highway, the pavement, because there's a little bit of condensation that happens overnight. So we're going to make a nice S pattern. Beautiful. And the succulents will migrate towards that tiny little bit of moisture. So once you've got it planted up, you want to leave it flat while the roots root in. And once that's happened, it'll usually take 3 or 4 weeks. Once they've rooted in, then you can actually turn them upright and go ahead and hang your living wall. So doesn't need a lot of moisture. Don't over wet it, because then your succulents won't root. They'll just sit there and likely rot. What else do we need to tell them? Doesn't really need any fertilization. Let it root in. Once it's rooted in well, then you hang it up, and oh yes, If you're worried about it surviving for the winter and you've got some plants in your wall that are marginal, basically just take the wall down and overwinter it flat. And if you need to, you can cover it with some leaves if you need a little bit of extra insulation. So that looks pretty good. We'll show you a picture of it when it's finished. So thank you for your help.
You're very welcome.
Yes, yes. And I guess until we see you next time, please check out our YouTube channel, Grow. I've posted the link on the Facebook page. And if you like what you see on the YouTube channel, then please subscribe. And we'll see you next Wednesday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And until then, be safe, be happy, and let's get growing. See you next time, folks.